What is up, North Star? Let's do this thing. Let's talk about having a big AM summer. A big summer in terms of personal sales, that is. This is an exciting subject to talk about. I'm now going into my fifth Cutco summer, and my AM summer was seriously one of my favorite summers that I've had. Not just in Cutco, but truly in life. I look back at that summer. I had so much fun. I grew an absolute ton. I sold a ton of Cutco, so I made a lot of money. And that summer, I really just kind of tapped into a power that I just didn't really know that I had until that point, right? I really look back at that summer so fondly, and I'm so grateful that I took it seriously. I took the actual summer very seriously, but I really took the preparation probably even more seriously in terms of how I was thinking going into the summer, the stuff I did to be able to prepare. I prepared so that, when the summer hit, I was able to hit the ground running. I wasn't trying to build momentum once it started. I had a lot of momentum and I used that to my advantage. Okay. So there's a few things that I have for you today that I want to touch on, and keys to kind of having a big summer. The first thing that I want to talk about is mindset. Okay. Now I don't have any slides for you. So if you want to just write down like mindset, it's probably the best way. But when it comes to mindset, there are a few things that you should really be thinking when it comes to your AM summer and how you should be going into the summer, where your mind should be at. Okay. The first thing is that you're going to be very challenged, right? So know that you're going to be challenged. This should be the most challenging summer that you've had so far. Right. And, with that also comes great reward, right? Be ready to take on the challenge. The times in life when you're the most challenged, that's also where you grow the most. And that's where it's the most rewarding. And, it should be the most rewarding, not only personally, but also financially. Okay. This should be the highest income opportunity of your life up to this point. So it's obviously going to be challenging, right? If it was easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would be making a ton of money. But does everybody make a ton of money? Absolutely not, right? Most people, what do they make? Most people make minimum wage, right? That's just the reality of our world, right? So rise up to the challenge. Know that you're going to be challenged this summer, okay? The other thing that I would say about mindset with the summer is that being different is a really good thing. And it's really important that you remember that going into the summer. Okay, so number two, being different is a good thing. Just by being an assistant manager, you're going to be different than most people, right? You're going to be different than most of your friends. Even just selling Cutco is very different, right? We're well aware, you guys should be well aware up to this point as well, that, selling knives is not really the norm for most students, right? But lean into that. I always tell people, like, no one ever did anything really great in life by doing the same thing as everybody else. Anytime somebody did something great, they were doing something different. So lean into that, right? Doing and being something different means that you're doing and being something worthwhile. Being different is a really good thing. And it's important to remember that going into the summer. Okay. The third thing when it comes to mindset, third thing is that you really want to remember that you are the leader in your office this summer. Okay. You are not your manager. You are. And this is really your opportunity to lead from the front. Now, I can promise you, you're going to have a massive role on the success of your office this summer. The other reps in your office, right? Even reps that haven't started yet, other reps in your office, guess who they're watching all summer? You. Okay, they're watching you all summer long. One of the best quotes I've ever heard when it comes to AM leadership is that, I don't remember who said this. I think maybe it was Colton Horn, but regardless, one of the best quotes I ever heard about AM leadership is that the reps in your office, the reps in any office, they don't do what the manager says. The reps in an office do what the assistant managers do. Okay, that is so true. You, as an assistant manager, you shape the culture of your office. And that is so powerful. That's such a powerful position to be able to be in. Do you know how many, 18, 19, 20-year-olds get to say that, their influence helped shape the culture of an organization to produce hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales over the course of 4 months? Not many, right? And you have that opportunity this summer. So what does that mean? Show up the way that a kick butt AM would show up. Show up to events early, show up looking professional, be taking notes, be engaged, right? Lead from the front. You should be the number one in your office on the newsletter every single week. Why? Because you're setting that example for the rest of your office. You are the leader in your office this summer. Okay. Let's talk about preparation stuff. Okay. So what things should you prepare going into the summer? Now, there's multiple things that you could prepare. There's really two I would say most important things when it comes to terms in terms of preparation for the summer. Number one thing in terms of prep, write down names list. Okay. Write down names list. Now, for your names list, write down the bare minimum that you should have going into the summer on your names list is 100. Okay. 100 really is the bare minimum that you should have prepared for summer. Now, what do I really think that you should have going into the summer? I think you should have 200, right? I really do think that you should get to 200. It's just extra ammo for you, okay? 200 is great, but 100 should be the bare minimum for anybody going into the summer. Now, I really don't care what your names list is like right now, right? You could have 10 people on your list right now. And I truly believe that every single person, regardless of situation, can get to 100 by the time summer starts. I've been selling Cutco for over 4 years. I've sold to a ton of people, right? A lot of people that I know. And I guarantee you that if someone told me that I had to come up with a list of 100 people that I had never called before for Cutco, I'd be able to do it. Of people that I know, right? We all know so many people. I'm not going to dive in too much in terms of like, how to do that. Your manager is a great resource. If you need help, reach out, talk to your manager. They have resources available. Your manager wants to see you crush the summer. They're there to help, right? So ask your manager if you need help building your names list and they can help you. But once given those resources, you're going to have to be the one that puts in the work to build that list. Okay. But I promise you, you will not regret having more people on your list to start the summer. Take my word for it. You'll want to have put in that work. It's just extra ammo for you in your back pocket to not have any type of worry once the summer starts. It's so worth it to spend the time now adding to that list and getting it prepared. Okay. The second thing you should have in terms of preparation is getting on your summer habits now, right? So start your summer habits right now. What does that mean? Start waking up on summertime, right? I really mean that, like right now. I remember going into my AM summer, the 2 months leading up to summer, I was getting up at the time I would have to get up during the summer, right? I was getting up we used to have to drive to the office, so it's a little different now, but I was literally getting up at 5 a.m. because during the summer, that's what time I had to get up. I had to drive an hour to the office, right? So start whatever time that is for you, start waking up on summertime. We naturally think that we're all the type of people that can just flip a switch and turn it on, but the reality is we're not. So it's extremely beneficial to start now. So start waking up on summertime, right? Start working out in the mornings. Start being ready for your day by 8 a.m. That way, when the summer hits, you're actually able to hit the ground running and you don't have to worry about building any steam, right? That steam's already built and you're ready to just leave everybody else behind you in sales when summer starts. Okay, let's talk about when you're actually in the summer. What are the things that you should really be focused on? I would say the first thing really is summer consistency. Okay, so if you want to write down during the summer, number one, summer consistency. Okay, summer consistency is really, really important if you're going to have a big summer. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that, you really can't have too many like off weeks, right? You really want to look at selling, like if you're talking about having a $40,000 to $50,000 summer, you really want to look at selling between $1,000 and $3,000 every week during the summer. $2,000, in my opinion, is really the sweet spot. Okay. So I want you to think about this way. I'll do a little calculation for you. Grab my calculator. So during the summertime, there are 18 weeks. Okay. 18 weeks of the summer. I would say really 4 of those weeks are considered like push weeks, right? SC1 and SC2. So 4 of those weeks are push weeks. What does that mean? It means that there's 14 normal weeks of the summer. Okay. So let's say that for those normal weeks, let's say you sell on the low end, $1,500, right? $1,500 times 14 comes out to be $21,000. Let's say on the high end, you sell $2,000, right? Some of you guys, it'll be higher. You'll be selling $3,000 a week. Okay. But let's call it 2,000 times 14. That's $28,000. So if you sell every single week, you don't miss a beat between $1,500 and $2,000. That means just on the normal weeks of summer, you're selling anywhere from $21,000 to $28,000. right? Just by being consistent. Then you add in, let's go the low end of the 21,000. Let's call it, you sell 10 grand for SC1. Most of you guys will do that. That's $31,000. And then let's call it 15K for SC2. Some of you guys will have bigger SC2s, right? Some of you guys will end up selling 20, 25 grand for SC2, but let's call it 15K. 31,000 plus 15. Oops, 31,000 plus 15,000. That's 46,000 bucks. $46,000 at the end of the summer in sales, right? Let's do that high-end calculation. 28,000 bucks plus 10,000 for SC1 plus 15,000 for SC2. That's $53,000 in sales just by selling 2 grand a week every week and maxing out your push periods. That is awesome, right? Week in and week out, if you don't dip below 1,500 bucks, and again, a lot of you guys, it should be you don't dip below 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. And by the way, that 1,500 bucks or 2,000 bucks, that doesn't include the weeks where you end up selling 3, 4, 5,000 bucks in one of the normal weeks. Because that's what's awesome is that when you're being consistent, you will have weeks where you'll drop a signature set, right? You'll drop 2 ultimate sets. You'll drop 3 homemakers and boom, your normal $1,500 week just turned into 3, 4, 5,000 bucks. So just by being consistent, this should be like the low end, right? Consistency is so powerful and so important, right? That should really be one of the big things that you're looking at this summer is like, how do I make sure that I never dip below X amount in sales during a normal week? Okay. The other thing when it comes to like during the actual summer, I want you to write down the second thing is maximizing your push periods. Okay. Maximizing your push periods. Okay. So maxing out your push periods. I love push periods. I could talk for 30 minutes just on this subject alone of push periods, but push periods are really where you get the most of everything, right? You get the most growth, you get the most income, the most experience, the most leadership, the most excitement. It's awesome. Push periods are really meant to be your time to shine, right? So the way that you want to look at a push period during your AM summer is that it's like you're going to money camp. Okay. It's like, hey guys, hey mom, hey dad, boyfriend, girlfriend, friends, whoever. I'm going away to money camp for 2 weeks. I'm going to be super busy, right? But I'm going to be about 3, 4, 5 grand richer when I get back. Some of you guys have an opportunity to make like 8 to 10 grand during SC2 this year. That's pretty crazy, right? If you're going for a really big goal, 20 grand, whatever, like you have an opportunity to earn a crazy amount of time or amount of money. So it's so worth it to go all in during those times. Whenever I get asked to give like a message at like a region event or something, they ask you to fill out like a speaker bio. And one of the questions on the bio is always, what experience are you most proud of during your time with Vector? Every single time I get asked that, the first thing that comes to mind is my SC2 push during my AM summer. Every time. It was breaking the assistant manager record for that push and selling over $34,000 at Cutco. The reason that it comes to mind is because that was truly a life-changing experience. That experience during those 2 weeks really showed me what I was capable of. So I want you to think about that. What if you were able to have that this summer? What if you were able to have an experience that completely altered the way that you felt about yourself and what you were capable of? I'll tell you, you have that opportunity during a push period this summer, right? You have the opportunity to cultivate an experience that can stay with you for the rest of your life, to cultivate something that you're proud of. And let me tell you, having that experience is so worth it for the price. What's the price? Going all in for 2 weeks, right? Knowing what I know now, by the way, knowing how impactful that experience was and how much it's done for me, I'd pay a much higher price now, right? Knowing what it's done, I would sell myself away for the whole summer if I had to, knowing how valuable that time and experience was. You don't have to do that, right? 2 weeks is enough, right? But you have an opportunity to change your own life this summer and really cultivate that. And that, in my opinion, the push period is such a great way to do that. I don't care how cheesy that sounds, but you really do have the opportunity to change your life this summer through that. That's the truth. Okay. Now to wrap up here, in terms of like AM summer and taking on growth, I talked a little bit about this. I can't remember where I heard this, but I remember someone telling me very early on in my Cutco career, I don't remember who it was, but I still have not forgotten it. And I still think about it all the time. And it was this, it's basically, you know, we talk about growth as being this awesome thing, right? We're like, yeah, you know, we're going to grow. It's going to be awesome. We're going to learn a lot. And that's true, right? Growth is awesome. But what do we forget? We forget that growth is really hard, right? And that in the moment, growth sucks. And it's really tough to recognize in the moment, but it's the moments that you want to quit, but you don't. That's the growth, right? It's the moments that, you know, you're not getting the results that you want, but you put your head down. That's the growth. Growth is not the times when you're kicking butt and you're having, you know, you're selling super easy signature sets in the summer. Don't get me wrong, that's a blast. And you'll all have that happen to you this summer. That stuff's really fun. But the growth is the time where you have 5 no sales in a row and you're like, WTF is going on? Because that will also all happen to you this summer. The growth is where you're trying to figure out how to balance all your office duties, booking PRs, running interviews, right? And your personal sales. It's the times where you're expanding your plate. That's the growth. Growth in the moment is really hard to recognize that growth. You got to remember that when you're in the challenge of the summer, that the growth happens in the adversity and not the excitement. You guys have an awesome opportunity this summer to really grow yourselves and to make a massive impact in your office and on a lot of people's lives this summer. Cannot wait to see what you guys create this summer, both personally and in your office. Let's go sell some knives and win some scholarships. Thanks, guys.